Good morning. It is the 12th of November 2019. And I see over in our Discord saying, no more moon thumbnails, please. But in today's episode, we're going to take a look at Ichimoku Cloud, and it may be giving us some pre-moon amble. Let's jump in to this episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Now, of course, to start off with, this is not trading advice, just market observation. And I'm going to go through this quickly today, so put on your racing boots and put your hat on backwards. Jumping into our Bitcoin technical analysis in 10 minutes. We are starting off with the relative strength index, and we're looking at the weekly view as usual. So we're watching for this to either break or pick up here. We are in a new week, new weekly candle. I don't know what this is doing on the weekly. It did me in before, so I'm not paying too much attention to that little corner on the weekly. But as we get into the daily and we're watching this divergence setting up here, I still like it as a bull setup. If we zoom in now, this is our yes or no signal right here. Break down below these levels? No, we're not going up right now. If it continues up, right there, we've got all of our signals that we need. You can just finish the episode now. Now, here again, we have that really clear spot in the relative strength index. No guessing on this one. We have the 1, 2, 3 break below that. There's no question of it. We just have to be ready for that option. As we're zooming in here, again, we're really seeing a very strong setup. And I really like to see it pulling back, and then bounce up. So we'll see what this does right on the tip. That's not giving me the bullish view that I was actually expecting. Let me zoom in on this now. And we'll see what goes on with this. Is it going to be doing something? Let's zoom into the next indicator set here. On the weekly view of the on-balance volume, through the episodes we've been watching, anticipating that we are in the uptrend and that we are repeating some of these old historical details, and that the volume has come down and that it's going to pick back up and we're going to keep going. At the same time, we do have these exhaustion wicks. This is a top formation. You know, if it continues to come down from this level, it is going to be much the same as we saw back in the downtrend many years ago. Let's zoom in on this. Now I want to see the nature of this. I want to see gotta see the volume picking up. Just gotta see the volume picking up. It can't stay down at low levels or we are going down. So it's given us some clear points here to look at as well. So as we're zooming in now, this is the volume that we're watching for. It's absolutely gotta pick up or we're not going anywhere. And this is not what I was really wanting to see. As we're coming across these levels, I'm wanting to see some volume, some positive volume picking up here. And it didn't really make a difference there. And here we have two swaths of negative volume there. I don't like it. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame from here and zoom in. So we have dumping, a little bit less dumping, but really not really good. We just don't have the buying volume coming in. Did we have it here? Well, kind of. And then it just went swoosh. So it's not a very good predictor, this. Let's continue on. The next indicator is the MACD, and I put a lot of weight on this. I can see that the MACD, if I zoom in on this and take a look at the histograms, they have been easing back for us over the last few weeks. And I'm watching to see this histogram now to see what it does. This last bar, is it going to continue shortening through the week? Because it's still a live candle. Let's see if that shortens through the week or lengthens. If the daily continues to lengthen through the week, that's also bearish. Like, no denying it. Those are two really big bearish long-term views. And if I zoom into the 12-hour, this is also still bearish. It has not crossed positive yet. So let's zoom in. Here, the 4-hour is giving us a little bit of the, if you're long and you're holding a loss and you're hoping, this will give you more hope. Let me grab a hold of the drawing tool. So we have higher lows going along here like this. And this is giving us a cross. I'm stretching it here for sure. So let me zoom in on this. This is another one of those, like the relative strength index, we can just watch this. If the green crosses back above the red, this is the first indicator we need to have in the 4-hour time frame. For this to be picking up, that will occur. So we'll have the volume, we'll have that crossover. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame and see. It has crossed to the positive, and I like this in that we have a cross to the positive here, we have a cross to the positive here, and that they are higher than each other while we have lower lows. So in hindsight, it'll look back and you can say, yeah, that's great, but we can also see this kind of thing setting up here. We have, well, it's not quite the same divergence. We'll see how this plays out. That's important to see how this divergence is setting up here, especially when we can compare it to the 4-hour. I'm doing pretty good for the 10-minute time. Let's go into the Ichimoku cloud. This is where it gets telling us the story. So if I get rid of the Ichimoku cloud, the price chart, and we're looking at these two parallel trend lines, that's what I want to pay attention to here today. So now let me put the price back in and pull it back out again, because I didn't mention the blue line is still fading away from the red line. On the weekly, I just want to pay attention to that. That's not bullish. Let's put the price back in and zoom into the 1-day view. And this is where it gets a big change for me. We can see here that the price was below the cloud and then we dropped. Price was now it's in the cloud and has not dropped yet. If I get rid of the prices and we take a look at the blue line crossing beneath the red line here, that's bearish. And that was before prices broke lower. Here we have the blue line solidly above the red line. That's bullish. And if we take a look at the Ichimoku cloud, it has twisted to the positive. So we have a few setups here that give a different view. And when we if we take the time to go back and compare the other indicators through this time frame and through this time frame, there are differences that are standing out. Let me clear this off. Gets rid of our parallel channels. I'll leave it on. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame. What's going on here? Again, the blue was crossed below the red as we were coming down here. The blue is crossed below the red as we're coming down here. So should this cross to the positive, that's going to give us the confirmation that we need. We have the RSI confirmation, we have the MACD crossover confirmation on the 4-hour time frame, and we have the Ichimoku confirmation that we need here. Let's go in a little closer on this 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. What's going on here? Still has not crossed positive. Still holding a negative stance here. Just want to observe it, because this is where I'm holding hope that this is actually going to be bouncing up from here, and it's not showing it so far. Let's zoom in a little bit more. The 1-hour time frame, this is getting dirty. The 1-hour time frame is still negative. Well, the blue is just barely crossed above, so it hasn't given us the turnaround juice here in the 1-hour time frame yet. That 1 day is giving us the insight, but the shorter time frames haven't verified it yet. Final indicator, we're looking at the Bollinger Band. This is below the midline for the weekly. And if we just take a second to quickly draw this back and see that in the past, when it was below the midline, we're in a downtrend. When it got up above the midline, we stayed in that uptrend. And so if we're comparing ourselves all over and over again to this potential time frame here and this potential time frame here, that we're in this big uptrend, Bollinger Band's not on our side. It's not saying that we are on the way up yet on the weekly. So this is an important change. It's important. Here on the daily time frame, it's come through the midline and flattened off. So it's got a chance of coming back up through. The 12-hour is flatlining along the bottom and not expanding down yet. Let's zoom in more. So now I'm paying attention to the 4-hour is also against these bottoms. I don't know. Let's see if it crosses the midline. Maybe that'll give us some notice. Then I'm watching the 1-hour time frame, and I've been watching this to see if it stays above or below the midline to give us that first, we got to get the 1-hour staying above the midline and then the 4-hour staying above the midline before we're going to get the weekly to go above the midline. So even though I want to be bullish, as I go through this, there's a lot of bearish long-term indicators here that we haven't really made that big change to the bull market as much as I want it to be. And now we're taking a look at Bitcoin longs versus shorts. So this is Bitcoin price in both top panels. Here's the longs, here's the shorts. And the thing that is interesting to me as we go through this is what happened during this last sideways bit here. It'd be so great to have different drawing tools here, but what happened during the longs, and as this blasted up, the longs really took it back. Through this sideways channel and through this bit here, the longs have been up and down and up and down and up and down. Now, through this period, they've really pulled back. They were up super high here. Now they've really pulled back. Just to observe, I was anticipating that we would get a larger move down and that the longs would get soaked even further back. So let's see how that goes, because the shorts haven't picked up yet. They're not really jumping in to say that we figure it's going down. Not clear. Then we go to Bitcoin dominance. We can see that this has been easing off. That means the alts are taking off, and that's great. Many of the alts have made some phenomenal moves. Pay attention for top formations, because we have this technical resistance here. And if Bitcoin does start to surge, I do believe the alts will take a bit of punishment. And I've been expecting it sooner, actually, than it's been. But I am expecting that we'll get another run like this, and Bitcoin will do a run up and alts will get punished. And so far, I'm not getting the complete backup that I want in the charts. I want to do a short episode here today, so let me go over to where to go. This is our pro alerts. This is a live from our spreadsheet that shows what our pro alerts are actually doing for returns. These are the coins that we are holding in our pro, that have the hold status in our pro alerts, and they're doing some great moves. If I pull down now our bull market watch spreadsheet, this is a service that you can subscribe to on the homepage of the website. You'll get access to see which are the coins that are in neutral stance, which are in alert stance, which are in hold status. And we can see this has been a significant change now in Binance. We can see that we're down from over 50% neutral coins to just 46% now. And so we are seeing that the alts are picking up into a more bullish stance. And we'll take a closer look at those to see if these holds might be in top formations as Bitcoin is moving out. Now, if you have any questions, I invite you to come over to our Discord chat and join in. We talk about Bitcoin prices throughout the day, because as soon as this episode is finished, of course, Bitcoin prices are going to be changing. So there's our Discord chat link in the chat. Good to have you along, Willie Wids. Thanks for being here, Stephen Rubenheimer. Wow. Dragonfly, good to have you here. Mr. Atikul, good morning from England. Seems we're in it does look like a long-term downtrend, and yet I'm kind of skeptical about it just because of what I'm seeing in the Ichimoku cloud. Of course, my skepticism will be cleared up when we have the relative strength index doing a move, the on-balance volume showing us something. I want to see the MACD indicator cross to the positive, and I want to see the Ichimoku cloud give us some juice. Right now, in the 15-minute time frame, we've got something here. Let me clear all this off. In the 15-minute time frame, we're barely eking above the cloud, but in the 1 week, we're still everything's still negative. Even though I am bullish, we'll see if the charts actually back me up. Blessed morning from the United Kingdom, Michael. Good to have you along. Yo, to the king. Thanks, East Coast Cookie Boys. Good to have you along as well. I'm going to sign off here today, though. Come on over to our Discord chat. Let's continue this conversation. I've got some work to do over in the spreadsheet. We've got some repairs to do in our charts, and I've got some catching up to do in the Poloniex data. That's my work for today. And yoga is coming up soon. Gotta hydrate. So I'll send you guys good vibes. Thanks again for showing up. There's so many great channels out there. I appreciate having you guys here. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin.